So we are now 2 days removed from UFC 321, and there has been a lot of aftermath, a lot of fallout of the main event. Obviously, Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane went to a no contest because of an eye poke to Tom Aspinall, where he couldn't continue in the first round, and it was a bit of a letdown to say the least. Everyone was thinking, "Oh, is Tom gonna get a quick finish, or is Gane gonna outsmart him and win finally a championship, an undisputed championship?" But none of that came to fruition because of the eye poke. And the eye poke happened, and you can say whatever about it or how you feel about it, but people online and Twitter specifically are just it's they're being like irrational. They're being like, you have people saying that he quit and stuff like that. He quit. It wasn't that bad. He was getting outstruck and he wanted to quit. Like, that's one of the reasons. Like, on here, this is the total strikes. It only lasted 4 minutes and 35 seconds, so it didn't even get to the full round. And there's a 3 strike difference. People were making it out online that Gane was like styling on him, styling on Aspinall, landing it well, all that stuff. Because Tom had the bloodied nose. Because if you don't know, or if you don't remember, or you didn't see the fight, Gane was like really throwing really hard jabs. Tom was kind of trying to go for the 1-2s, but when they would kind of land, they kind of land on the end. Like, Gane would kind of be backing away, and it would take most of the power out of it. But Gane was doing well, landing really hard jabs, and that kind of blooded up Tom's nose really quickly into the fight. Maybe like a minute in, 2 minutes in, maybe. And so obviously there was the visual difference, because his face was covered in blood. But people are making it out, not mentioning this like 3 strike discrepancy, and they're factoring that. They're not saying that, and then they're factoring their belief that Gane was, as I said, like outstriking him by like a crazy amount, which didn't happen. But they're factoring that into why he couldn't continue because of the eye poke. They're saying because he knew he was going to lose, essentially he knew he was going to lose. He got the eye poke, he seen an easy way out, and he took it. But obviously this isn't true, just with the strikes. But what I wanted to look at today was the kind of busting the myth that he took the easy way out, as people have been saying. Because you get people online, they're just, as I said before, they're just talking at their arse pretty much. So I want to look at the actual clip. So this is the clip of Tom Aspinall getting eye poked. So here's Cyril Gane's fingers. Here's Tom's face. As I said, that was his face, because his nose is bloody, and people just assume that, oh, there's blood on someone's face, that means they're getting dominated. Sometimes your nose just busts open after one shot. It happens. But this is the clip. So the full clip is this. So it goes in there, lands, and he kind of digs it in more. And as you see, it goes in both eyes. So this finger goes in his right eye, and this one goes in his left eye. But there's a bit of a difference, because what people were saying was, obviously, it was his right eye. This was the eye that was bothering Tom, but people were like taking it as evidence that he quit, because the finger also went in this eye, and it looks like it goes in deeper here. As you can see there, like, it looks like it kind of comes out more. So people are saying that, oh, this eye looked like it got worse, but he said it was this eye, meaning he kind of faked it. So I'll just play the rest of the clip through. So it does that, comes out, and it goes quite, it does, this one does, but this wasn't the eye that was bothering him, it was this eye. But what people kind of I've not seen anyone say, is that it's the initial impact, right? Because yeah, this looks sore, obviously, when it goes in like that. When it's really in, that one's like really in. Like you can't even see Gane's fingernail. You can see his fingernail disappear. But what, for the eye, this eye that was actually affected, what was the issue was, look, if you look at the initial impact of the hand touching the face, you can see this finger, the middle finger, lands right on the eye here, whereas this finger, Gane's index finger, that hits Tom's nose, it kind of grazes his nose and doesn't even hit the other eye. So there, it doesn't hit the eye at all. This eye, you can see the kind of shock wave, the kind of impact right there. So people are thinking more of the actual finger going in the eye as the conclusive, you know, thing to make the eye sore, to make Tom not be able to see. But clearly here, you can see it's the impact. It's not the finger not how deep the finger goes in the eye, although that is a factor. However, in this case, it seems like it's the impact. So that goes right in, and then it's also not just that. It's afterwards, as Tom's kind of turning his head, you can see the finger go more in right there. So it lands on the kind of surface of the eye, and then digs right in there, like digs right in there. And that kind of goes like above his eyeball into his eye socket, and that just makes it even worse. But that initial impact, as I said, was probably what had done it. I mean, the eye's a very delicate thing. I'm sure if it was hit that hard, it's gonna get some damage. Because it was Tom rushing in. I believe it was Tom moving in at the same time as Gane was putting his hand out. So it's like the two forces coming together has just caused his eye to take that much impact. But, and this was the he got his eyes tested, and this is how they looked. I think they looked, it's obviously bloodshot, and you can kind of see it is this eye. There's slight bruising as well, and you can see slight bruising. And the other one's not as bad. It is this one, but you can kind of see it's this inside part where that initial impact was made, and that kind of further proves it. So there was that, and then last thing, John Jones had to chime in. I think this was like right after the fight. He changed his profile picture to the duck with the eye patch, obviously mocking Tom Aspinall for receiving the eye poke and the fight going to a no contest. But it's just so, because you see all these John Jones fans that were replying to this. Everyone who was meat riding John Jones in the whole Jones versus Aspinall saga, when Jones retired, they were all jumping on Tom Aspinall for the eye poke. But it's like, John Jones is the eye poker. If you think eye pokes in MMA, you think of John Jones having his hand out there, like level, parallel with the ground, pretty much, thrusting his fingers at people's face. Did it to Cormier, did it to. He was even doing it to Stipe as well last year. And it's ridiculous. But that's John Jones. He's retired. He's gonna fight Pereira. I hope Pereira sparks him out if that fight does come to fruition, but we'll need to see. Anyway, thanks for listening, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.